We're continuing to ask, who is Jesus? And today we're discussing that he was a first century Jewish rabbi who was different than the other rabbis of his time. Stick around to find out exactly why that was. Hey, I'm Matt and you're watching Truth Snack, a channel that is specifically designed to help you discuss what matters with those you love. Today we're talking about Jesus as a first century rabbi. But first we should ask, what does rabbi even mean? Well, the word means master or teacher, but functionally a rabbi would have to become an educated expert on the Old Testament and its surrounding literature. Literature like the Mishnah, which was a collection of commentary from ancient rabbis on the Old Testament. What we see in biographies of Jesus' life is that people called him rabbi, but we also see that he participated in rabbinic dialogue. For example, when the Pharisees come to Jesus with a question on divorce, what they're asking for is his interpretation of Moses' teaching from Deuteronomy chapter 24. What we see from the context of Jesus' life is that people considered him a respected and educated rabbi. But what's different about Jesus is how he went about answering these difficult questions. What was normal was for rabbis to cite an even more ancient rabbi and lean on their authority to answer difficult questions. Jesus showed that he understood this teaching by saying, "You have heard it said," and citing ancient rabbis. But then he would conclude by saying, "But I say to you." And he would speak boldly and with authority and even add to ancient teachings. This caused everyone who listened to Jesus to be amazed because he was different than the other rabbis they had heard. He spoke with authority. This is where I think it gets really interesting. Jesus is one of the most influential people in history, and he's the leader of a global movement and clearly an innovative rabbi. And if you ask people, who is Jesus, a lot of people will say a good and wise teacher. And I would agree with that. But it's a lot harder to know exactly what it was Jesus taught. So here's today's question. What is the central message of Jesus' teachings? If you're going to go after answering today's question, can I encourage you to use the earliest eyewitness accounts of Jesus' life, which have been compiled into the New Testament? I think the book of John would be a great place to start. Thanks so much for watching Truth Snack. Don't forget to subscribe or watch another video if you're gonna hang around. If you're heading out, why not find us on Facebook? I love posting questions that pop into my mind and hearing all of your responses. See you next Tuesday.